How's everybody doing tonight? Great, because this is an evening about you as much as it is about the children. Welcome to the annual Gala of the Friends, American Friends of Migdal Ohr. My name is Michael Herzenberg. I'm honored to be here. You might have seen me on New York One. I report the news every morning. I love waking up with many of you. I became a journalist to hopefully change some lives, but I can't tell you how infrequently it happens as a reporter that I actually get to make people's lives better. But Migdal Ohr does it for thousands of children every day. And you are the people that need to be thanked for that in a large part. Once again, we're here to celebrate you as well as the very important work that is done by Migdal Ohr. Now please rise for the singing of the national anthem, followed by the singing of the Hatikvah. Please be seated. Thank you again for joining us. We appreciate the support of the many friends and supporters who are here this evening, and even those who are unable to make it tonight. This is a very special evening, once a year, when we dedicate everything that is done for the benefit of the children of Migdal Ohr. On their behalf, thank you. Thank you again. Love, education, clothing, and medical. In TV, that video is called Proof of Performance. It's a promotion, essentially, saying, look what that has done for these children and then adults. And again, you are responsible in a large part for that. We're privileged tonight to have a young woman who's gone through the Migdal Ohr system. 15 years ago, Shira Zagir was an at-risk Israeli teen traveling down a very dark path in life. She came from a dysfunctional and from an abusive household and was lucky enough to be sent to Migdal Ohr for high school. But let's let her tell her story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Shira Zagir.
I owe my life to Rabbi Grossman. My childhood was not a happy one, and I have many painful memories. Something I just don't feel comfortable talking about. But here is my story. I'm one of 6 children. I grew up in Yerushalayim in an ultra-Orthodox family. I was a very difficult girl. I wanted to know all the meaning of what I'm doing. Why do I keep Shabbos? Why do I need to wear nude clothing? Why do I need to eat kashrut? I was very confused and very against all this. My parents didn't know what to do with me. They were completely lost. They tried one school after another, but none of them gave me the answers. Past the years, I also gave up myself with education. I was behind. None of the school challenged me. None of them gave me what I was looking for. One day, my mother met someone who worked for Migdal Ohr. And they offered her to send me and my brother to their summer camp for free. I went there one summer, and I never left. I spent 3 years at Migdal Ohr school, and I lived in the dormitory. I found all the answers I was looking for. Not only this, they gave me the education that I needed. Endless love and caring. Migdal Ohr taught me to appreciate Judaism. They didn't force it down my throat. They taught me the reasoning behind the laws and the mitzvot. My first year at Migdal Ohr was extremely difficult. I was missing my family. The teachers were unbelievable caring. They made sure that I get love and support. Every day there was different food that I was not used to. I didn't touch the food. My teacher saw that I was not eating. She made sure to get me food I liked. Slowly, I got used to the amazing food Migdal Ohr served us. This was so special. They actually cared about us as individual child, and they do this with every child. It was unbelievable that each child is taken care of and their individual needs are met every single day at Migdal Ohr. Finally, something awoke inside of me. I realized that was home. And under the non-judgmental and loving care, tutelage of Rabbi Grossman and his staff. After I graduated, I wasn't happy to go home. And I didn't know what to do with myself. You should know, that when you attend Migdal Ohr, they become your family for life. And so I reached back out to Rabbi Nussbaum, who had been like a mother to me. And she suggested that I go to a professional school to become an art teacher. Migdal Ohr was willing to pay for this. And so I went to study at Chaim in Bnei Brak. Since school was not in session in the summer, since school was not in session in the summer, I will travel every summer to America to help my older sister, taking care of her children, as she had a stroke a few years earlier. I went to Brooklyn to live with her and help her take care of her kids. That last summer, after I finished my art school and received my degree, my sister really needed me, and I decided not to return to Israel. While helping my sister, I got a job with the Arachim America organization. It was through Arachim that I met the man I will eventually marry, as he was also working for Arachim in another office doing advertising. We dated for a while, and we got engaged. Mandy and I were both young, and we didn't have a lot of money, and neither set of parents had much as well. So can you believe that Migdal Ohr's bridal fund gave me money to set up myself for our wedding? This includes all the things that bridal usually gets from her parents. I got it from my Migdal Ohr family. Mandy and I have now been married for 6 years, Baruch Hashem, and we have 3 beautiful children, Kenaina. After my son was born, it was really hard for me to only stay home and take care of a baby. My husband was very emotional, supportive of my wanting to also have a career, to being a mother and a wife. So he agreed that I will go to a specialized cosmetology school. I took a few courses in laser hair removal and microblading permanent makeup. And the next step was to open my own beauty salon. Together with my husband, we took a big risk by taking such a big loan, which I'm proud to say we have already paid off in less than 3 years' time. Thank you. I'm proud to say that we have a very successful business, which my husband helped me with, in addition to him also working in real estate. Without Migdal Ohr, I never would have had the courage of self-worth to move to another country or to start a business. Because of the encouragement and support, the love, kindness that was shown to me by my teachers and also fellow students, I have become the woman I am today. I am a happily married, 31 years old, Jewish woman who keeps kosher and Shabbos and does this willingly and with a full heart. I have 3 beautiful children and a caring husband. I miss living in Israel very much. but hope to return there someday. I don't really want to think about where I will be today, if not for the love and care, great education, food and clothing, warm bed to sleep in at night, and both the financial and emotional support that I got from Rabbi Grossman, Rabbi Nussbaum, and the teachers at Migdal Ohr. Migdal Ohr is so special. It built me and my life. That's why it's so important for me to be here tonight and share my story with you. If sharing my story can help even one other child like me, it's the least I can do. I understand that in addition to Rabbi and Rabbi Yitzchak Grossman, there are also some very important people here tonight. Because of Migdal Ohr American support, many of whom are here this evening, I can proudly stand up here as a testament to the success of this wonderful institution and the work that Rabbi Grossman and his staff does day and night for the past 40 years. Thank you so much for helping Rabbi Grossman. Please continue to save Israeli children the way you did that, the way that helped me. That's all I can ask. Thank you.
I think we can all agree that obviously took a lot of courage to come up here and share your story. Thank you. I'd like to introduce, it's my great honor to introduce Rabbi Yitzchak Dovid Grossman.
First of all, Shira, you make me happy. You give me encouragement to keep going. Hashem will bless you and your husband and your children to grow up l'toiro, l'chupo, l'maisim tovim. I want to thank the board for Migdal Ohr, President Tony Frumer and the whole board. They doing so much. Give him a hand, Behemoth. Norman Gilden and the staff, Bert Nussbaum, the whole staff, give him a hand. Mevir Benjamin from Israel, Benjamin Gilberg, Yasher Koach. Tonight we missed somebody. She is the wife from the first president for Migdal Ohr for many, many years. Max Turem, Hashem will give him Broche and Naches. He lost his wife, Sandra Shlomi Dvora. She was so close to Migdal Ohr the whole life. In time will come that we will make a special thing for she soul. But right now the children of Migdal Ohr learning Le'ilu nishmosu te'ei nishmosu itzruro betzruro Chaim la'achyosu betchil samesim. We come together tonight to give encouragement and chizuk to save the children from Migdal Ohr. I want to thank the guest of honor, Marilyn Sopher, and the daughter, Lisa. I met Marilyn many, many years ago, 40 years ago, together with the special husband, Moshe Doiv Chaim, Sopher, Zichroinu Livrocho. You'll never forget him. Hashem will give you gesunde Naches and Simche. We have the guest that Warner very, very close to us for many, many years. Chaim and then Bernstein, who is er? Oh, thank you for everything. In Shalom and again Auerbach, they're here. Thankful for everything. In Tzvi Solomon, the young Tzvi. We have here a special girl. I say special is special. Migdal Ohr marry off. The last 5 years, hundreds girls. Next week I go to be marry off a girl that she lost the mother in an accident, and 2 months later the father became a heart attack. And she has not a father and not a mother, and next week she's going to be married. And this is the kids that Migdal Ohr marry off, and this is giving a special thankful for Fabian Preminger. Stay up, Fabian. Stay up, Fabian. She will give you nachat and simcha. She devote day and night to help marry off this together with my very, very special sister, the Rebbetzin Nussbaum, that she comes. Rebbetzin Nussbaum, she is the Schatzchente. She's worked day and night, not so easy to be a Schatzchente. For hundreds of girls, give the whole life. Shira can tell you. She's the mother for every girl. And I want to mention that Fabian's parents, Israel and Bula Yehudis, they help us right now to build a special office in Yerushalayim that will take care of the whole Migdal Ohr works. Migdal Ohr today is like a supermarket. They have everything. They have in University in Gan Yavne. They have a new place in Zoharim. Zoharim is a new, what you call, Kfar Noam, a youth village. And they have all Israeli. Every night, 8,000 children learning in Israel, all over Israel, under 60 branches. Especially Migdal Ohr, the children. And they need a place in Yerushalayim, and their parents help us to have this place. I come here Monday night, and I speak in Queens. It's an institution called Chazak, and they share up there about 2,000 people. In middle, somebody comes over to me and started to kiss me, and he says, when I lost my mother, you in Migdal Ohr was my mother and my father. And he make me a surprise, and I see a meal. Ruben, איפה אתה? איפה פה? בוא הנה. Only to look at him. I met him this week in Queens. This is Ruben. He grew up in Migdal Ohr. Today is a special day. Today is Pesach Sheni. What is Pesach Sheni? 14 days in year. Pesach Sheni means if you can brought the Korban Pesach in the beginning from Pesach, God says you have another chance. A month later, you dalet year, you have the chance to brought the Korban Pesach. The meaning is you have a chance, a second chance. Migdal Ohr gives a second chance in many chances for thousands of kids to find a way and to build up themselves. Migdal Ohr never give up. In any case, children coming from broken homes, orphans, they don't know what to do with themselves. With patience and with love and with walking, in clothing, in medical, in everything, we build them up again. 9 years ago, I was in Montreal. People come to me and say that there's a boy, his name is Isaac Kakon. This boy is 14 years old. He has not a father, and is so bad that he started to sell drugs. And they say the child has a special feeling. If somebody will take him, he can be a success. I call up this boy. I started to speak with him. In speaking, he says, my life is lost. I have not a father. Nobody takes care of me. I say, you have a father. You have a father. I've been your father. I will not leave Montreal if you don't come with me to the home. I brought him to Migdal Ohr. I can't explain you what we're going through 2, 3, 4 years with this boy. You have not idea. Back and down and up, and then we take him in my home. One day I come back from America. He comes to say to me hello, and he's coming with, he makes a haircut like a chicken, you know what I mean? Take it here and it's like a chicken. And he makes his face, and he comes to me and he says, he wants to say hello. I look in them, I say, Rabbi Shalom, after 3 years, he's looking like a bomb. I say to him, Isaac, Yitzchak, I love you so much. I want to kiss you, but I can't kiss you if you look like this. Help me, what can I do to give you a kiss? He ran away. After a half hour, he comes back with a haircut like a Satmar Chosid. Everything take off. But from this minute, the boy changed himself complete, became a new boy. This last Shabbos, he was by me in home, come to tell me the good news that they're going to be married. He finished the army, he's an officer in the army, he works in the success, and in 2 months he will be married. See what you can do. If I will scream at him, Isaac, I put in you so much work, this is the look, you have no chance. No, Isaac, I love you. I want to give you a kiss. Help me to give you a kiss. This makes the difference. This is Migdal Ohr. Every single day, day and night, we work with the children. I can't take you time to tell you stories you will never believe. The greatness from the Atzole, from saving the children in Migdal Ohr. And you come today in Sfira Soimer. Sfira Soimer is a time that you don't make weddings. Why? Because we lost the 24,000 students from Rabbi Akiva. Why we lost them? Chazal tell because they don't give honor one from the other. Shelo chibdu zeh zeh. Look, the punish 24,000 Talmidim left in a short time because your Rebbe is Rabbi Akiva. What is Rabbi Akiva teaching you? Vo'afto lereach kamoicho. Love your brother like you love yourself. This is your Rebbe. If this is your Rebbe, I come that you don't give honor your friends. You come tonight here to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I go to Mekayim the mitzvah vo'afto lereach kamocho. I come here to Migdal Ohr event to share HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what I will do for my children. What every father and mother is ready to give everything to see nachas for my children. You come tonight to help these children that have not a father, and have not a mother. You was the father, and you was the mother. Right now, we have a list from 150 kids that want to come in next year. We need your help, please, to tell you the stories about my struggle in the money cases for Migdal Ohr. It's not the time right now. But you understand that it's not easy to keep every day 10,000 meals a day in clothing and medical and every kid. Please help us that we will can save the children. And in this house, Hashem will give you that you will have naches from your children.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, how do you follow that? I had the honor of meeting Rabbi Grossman on Monday, and I can honestly say I could listen to you all evening. It's just incredibly passionate. My name is Harry Santo Lala, excuse me, and it is my honor to be here this evening, to be supporting Friends of Migdal Ohr here in New York City, and as your national anthem reminded me, the land of the free and the home of the brave. It is also statistically the most generous country in the world when it comes to charitable donations. Yeah, absolutely. Give yourself a round of applause. And I really need your help here, as does Friends of Migdal Ohr, because there is only one of me this evening, and there's over 325 of you. And it has been a long time since anyone in the world listened to the British, but I really do need you to get behind me on this one. Before I do jump into the appeal, which I'm sure the more astute of you have worked out that's my role this evening, to hopefully get the wallets open. Before I do, what I would like to do is just give a quick round of applause to the event planners and to Rabbi Grossman and all of the people at Friends of Migdal Ohr. Fantastic. And actually, that was actually just a bit of a trick. What I wanted to do there was just work out whether or not you're able to use your hands, because we're going to need your hands right now. Traditionally speaking, at the vast majority of the events, almost every event, they tell you to turn your cell phones off. They tell you to put them away and don't get distracted by them. Now, I'm going to break that tradition and actually request that you get your cell phones out at this stage. And if you can actually not just get them out, turn them on and wave them at me. I would like to see, thank you very much, Tony, thank you. Oh, thank you, Ben. I'd like to see 320 phones in the air. All the children have got theirs immediately at hand. Amazing, amazing. Okay, everyone, you've got your cell phones, so put them up in the air. Let me at least see them so I know that you're listening to me and you know, okay, fine. Step one, we have cell phones in hands. Fantastic. Now, ignore all of the emails from your bosses and your employees. Ignore the calendar invites. Ignore the Facebook messages and the Instagrams and all of that stuff. Ignore the message from your babysitter. In fact, don't ignore the message from your babysitter. It's actually quite an important one. If there's a message from your babysitter, there's a strong indication that your children are at home and being watched and loved and looked after, and they're probably in bed, hopefully. Some of them will be asleep, some of them will be nagging the babysitter, and they will be eagerly awaiting your return. But these are all children that are fortunate enough to have a loving family and parents that invest in babysitters to look after them while they are out at Gala dinners and evenings, spending huge amounts of money, hopefully, to support incredible organizations. So those are children that are loved and have a roof over their head and warm meals and everything that a child really needs. And we've learned this evening the incredible work that Migdal Ohr provides. Now, there are 150 children currently on the waiting list in Israel right now to join Migdal Ohr. 150 children. Just have a think about that. If that were your child, if you were to leave this evening and it were your child outside without the shelter, without the love and support of a loving family, what would you do? You would do anything. Anything. Anything to help support that child. And as Rabbi Grossman very poignantly pointed out, they're taking all of that off of your hands. They're doing it all for you. They just need the funds to make it happen. Now, to support one child, we just need $4,500 for a whole year. Now, quantify that. Think about that. In New York City, that's nothing. That's nothing. For a whole year, we can support a child at $4,500. So before we go into the cash call now, I want you to just think about those statistics. And I would love everyone this evening, you have your phones at the ready, everyone to give what they can this evening to do their bit. So the screens around the room are currently broadcasting how we can give this evening. Unfortunately, the large screen is also on me, and although I am a bit of a narcissist, I would much prefer to see the steps. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an incremental pledge drive, and we're going to go starting from $50,000 down. And if you are feeling generous and you've been moved this evening, as I have, and I will be giving this evening, probably not at the $50,000 level, but I will be doing my bit, then please get involved by simply texting, and again, the phones are in your hands, 646-647-3340 with the amount you're willing to give and your name. And I've got this little sign here that Beth managed to produce for me. So this sign here, and actually, can I have one of the kids? Would you mind holding this sign up for me? One of the kids yeah, come on, run up. Give them a round of applause just to get them up here. Now, I look for people with incredibly smart suits and just stare at them while you can, okay? Just really stare at them long and hard. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to start at $50,000. Is there anyone in the room tonight willing and able to give $50,000 to this incredible organization? Is there anyone out there willing and able to do that? At $50,000. Shira and Jeff Eisenberg, $50,000. Incredible. So keep your eyes on the screen. They will be popping up with messages and total amounts so far. Okay, so let's half that, and at some point we're all going to start feeling a bit more comfortable at a lower level. But I know that there are some fabulously wealthy people in the room tonight, so dig deep, people. So we're going to move down now to the $25,000 mark, and I'm praying that there are people in the room willing and able to give $25,000 this evening to help this incredible organization. Again, sorry, what was your name? Hold up the sign really high. Fantastic, fantastic. We've got one. Adam and Jordana Grunfeld. Thank you very, very much. Is there anyone else at $25,000 willing and able? Just put your hand up. Give me a wave if you do. Anyone? Is there anyone at $25,000? You will receive a free high five from me and all of the children here tonight. Okay, fine. That's fair enough. That's a lot of money. Okay, we're now heading down to the $10,000 level. Who in here is willing and able to give it $10,000 this evening? Can you please make yourself known? Just put your hand in the air and help me out here on the screen. My eyes aren't that great. We got Tony Former. Thank you very much, sir. That's very kind. Tony Former, thank you. At $10,000. Do we have any more at $10,000? Here on the front row, usually the VIPs tend to be right in front. Thank you very, very much. They're coming in now, thick and fast. Fantastic. Right, now down to the $5,000 level. This should be a slightly more comfortable, we're not at the lofty heights of $50,000. This is now at $5,000. And just, again, to quantify that, $5,000 will cover a child for a whole year to give them the food and protection they need and the nourishment, everything that they need to thrive in the world at $5,000. Okay, we have some flying in now. Thank you. And yes, please do give them a round of applause. It will be. I'm sure if one of the Text to Pledge team members could come and help out here on the second row. Someone's just having a bit of difficulty. But again, that number is 646-647, thank you very much, 3340. Just add the dollar amount you're willing to give, your name, and we will take care of the rest. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. At this point, there's more coming. There's more coming. Okay. There's more here. So, no, you don't know how to text? It's 2017. That is not a problem at all. I've got you pinned. I never forget a face, and I will find you afterwards. You and I together, we will fire up that SMS, and we will fire it towards Friends of Migdal Ohr. Don't you worry about that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is fantastic. That $18,000 just in as well. At this point, it is also important to point out that not all of us can give it the thousands and thousands of dollar levels. I appreciate that, myself included. However, as I said earlier, my goal is at least to encourage as many of you as possible to give at whatever level you possibly can. And again, the number is 646-647-3340. In the time, thank you very much. There's another one up there, Nathan and Liza. Thank you very, very much. In the time I've been up here, many of you will have fired off 3 or 4 emails by now. So I know you've got it in you to get these through the system. And at this point, I would actually like to invite Rabbi Grossman back up here because he's far more captivating than I am. Rabbi, do you have a few words to say to anyone who's texting?
What can I tell you? Only thank you, and only think that I've been sure 100% that everybody from you want to have nachas from your children. I promised you, with your help, the children of Migdal Ohr, God will give you back nachas from your children. This is my promise.
Okay, so this text will be live for the rest of the evening, and on many of the seats, there are actually cards which give you a reminder of what that number is. So when I leave the stage, it's not all over. There's still an opportunity to give, and you can give throughout the evening, and I will be checking back in. Thank you, Bryna and Joshua. At $5,000, that's fantastic. Another $5,000 from Frida and Jeffrey Gala. Again, that number is live throughout the evening. We will be checking back in to let you know how much has been raised so far. Rabbi, of course.
Of course, you understand that you can raise a child for $4,500 a year. The government help us, but with your help, you make the government also to help. And this is the reason.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the texts are now flying in, so we are getting to grips with this idea of a text message, which is fantastic. Again, I'm not seeing enough phones in people's hands, but what I will do is, thank you, Beth. Beth's on it. What I will do is gently remind you that this is live and open throughout the evening. So don't worry if you can't get it through right now, and don't worry if your message isn't immediately popping up. We do need to vet the messages before we put them up on screen, just to ensure that they are sensitive, but I'm sure you are a very trusty crowd. They will be coming up as and when they come in, and they've been vetted. So please, please, please keep them coming in, and thank you so, so much for this continued support for Friends of Migdal Ohr. It is a huge, huge honor to be here tonight and to learn more about this incredible organization. So thank you very, very much. Yeah. Thank you again.
Thank you, Harry. So you've probably never heard anybody ask you to text like a teen, but you can continue to text all night long, and that is what Migdal Ohr would like you to do. Thank you very much for your generosity. As a journalist, I didn't know much about this organization when I was asked about it, so I did some research. It's a smart thing to do, right? And what I found was that it actually is run very efficiently. So you can be sure that your money is used wisely. That was something that I looked into because I have worked or done stories on charities that aren't efficient. I also made other phone calls and found out some pretty nice things, and that's what brought me here and made this an honor. So thank you for inviting me, and thank you for being so generous this evening. Without further delay, though, the highlight of the evening, other than your generosity, is our awards presentations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony Fromer, and I am the president of American Friends of Migdal Ohr. Please give your attention to the video screens. For once again, we're going to give you a short video, a tribute to our esteemed honorees, Marilyn Sopher and Lisa Sopher-Deutsch.
אשת חיל מאמצע ורחוק מפנינים מכרע בטח בלב בעלה ושאלה לו יחזר אשת חיל מאמצע ורחוק מפנינים מכרע בטח בלב בעלה ושאלה לו יחזר גמלה טוב ולא רע כל ימי
We are privileged to recognize two women whose dedication to Migdal Ohr has been monumental. Marilyn Sopher, along with her late husband, Morris, of blessed memory, became involved with the American Friends of Migdal Ohr after meeting Rabbi Grossman in the very early years of Migdal Ohr's inception. Subsequently, they helped to introduce him to other supporters and became active on our board of directors. In 1997, they made possible the building of a girls' dormitory that is named Beit Sopher. as well as dedicating a library on the Migdal Ohr campus. Both Morris and Marilyn were recognized with the Kesser Shem Tov Award from Migdal Ohr in 1997, and Marilyn received the Eshes Chayel Award in 2003. Lisa Sopher-Deutsch grew up in the Riverdale section of the Bronx as the youngest of 3 children to Morris and Marilyn. Lisa currently resides in the Upper East Side of Manhattan with her husband, Jeremy, and their 2 children, Jacob, 7, and Julia, 4. Lisa's first introduction to Migdal Ohr was as a child, visiting Migdal Emek's campus with her siblings and her parents, which you saw on the screen. After many years of being involved in Migdal Ohr on the sidelines through her parents, Lisa discovered that there was a Migdal Ohr Young Leadership Committee, which she joined, helping to raise money for the organization by planning many social events for young Jewish professionals in Manhattan. We are deeply indebted to these 2 women of valor who have been integral to the growth and development of Migdal Ohr. Marilyn and Lisa, please join me at the podium. I'll just read the inscription. In recognition and appreciation of your lifelong partnership and advocacy, may HaKodesh Baruch Hu reward your commitment to Rabbi Yitzchak Dovid Grossman and the children and families of Migdal Ohr.
I first met Rabbi Grossman in my home in 1973. He had a black beard and spoke to me in Yiddish in the same accent as my grandmother. He emanated warmth and positive energy as he gave me his blessings. He told us of the children he, along with those at the fledgling Migdal Ohr, cared for in Israel. I remember him telling us that he wanted to get a dental chair so that he could set up proper dental appointments at Migdal Ohr for the children. We were so inspired by Rabbi Grossman that my husband Morris, Zichrono Livracha, flew to Israel that same year for the very first time to see Migdal Ohr. We have been devoted to Migdal Ohr and Rabbi Grossman ever since. Later on, as Rabbi Grossman's vision continued to grow, he was concerned about the needs of the new Russian immigrants to Israel. He wanted to build a girls' dormitory and a library. How could we say no to Rabbi Grossman? We felt blessed to be able to help. I remember the groundbreaking for the girls' dormitory 5 months before Morris passed away. We stood next to him as he spoke before all of the children of Migdal Ohr in his Ashkenazi Hebrew. He was so glad to have lived for that moment. We all were. No visit to Israel is complete without visiting Migdal Ohr and seeing firsthand all of the wonderful accomplishments of Migdal Ohr and all of the students. Rabbi Grossman was by my side, whether it was over the phone or visiting Morris in Beth Israel Hospital, or as Rabbi Grossman called it, Beis Yisrael, singing Ani Ma'amin and helping me with difficult end-of-life decisions. I know that the work my husband did to help Migdal Ohr gave life to his life, years to his years. I'm so happy to stand here again today, this time beside my daughter Lisa, to continue to share the message of the wonder that is Rabbi Grossman and Migdal Ohr. I am proud that Lisa has continued where my husband left off. It was wonderful to join Lisa, my son-in-law, and my grandchildren this past Hanukkah in Israel to watch Rabbi Grossman light the Chanukiah at the Kotel and to visit the Migdal Ohr's new agricultural youth center, youth village, and educational campus, Soharim. I encourage all of you to open your hearts and visit Migdal Ohr soon. May Rabbi Grossman, along with his wife Esther and his brother Yankel, and all of the staff at Migdal Ohr continue to be blessed to be able to do the extraordinary and necessary work for many years to come. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this honor. It's especially meaningful for me to be honored alongside my mother. My mother has been a great role model for me, showing me the value of being kind to other people and of giving tzedakah. You just heard how my parents became involved in Migdal Ohr. Over the years, I accompanied my family on many visits to Migdal Ohr. We watched it grow and attended many Migdal Ohr dinners together. I became involved in Migdal Ohr more personally as an adult when I attended an event sponsored by the Migdal Ohr Young Leadership Committee. I'd never heard of this committee before, and since I already knew what a great organization this was, I joined in helping to plan future events on behalf of the organization. More recently, this past December, I visited Migdal Ohr's main campus in Migdal HaEmek with my mother, my husband Jeremy, and my children, Jacob and Julia. It is unbelievable to see in person how vast the main campus is. So much attention is being paid to the particular needs of these children, despite their large number. In addition to everything Migdal Ohr provides for these children, such as clothing, food, medical care, psychological counseling, recreational activities, career training, and of course, an education, a new initiative in one residence caught my attention, Mishpachtonim. Designated couples who live on campus are paired with children and are always available and on call for them. They play with them, they help them with homework, they host them for Shabbat meals in their homes, and they spend time with them during school vacations. Mishpachtonim is only one example of the way in which Migdal Ohr provides a nurturing, warm, and loving environment for these children. On our visit to Israel, we also visited the Zoharim Agricultural Educational Youth Village campus. During our tour, I came to understand that unfortunately, there are many teenage boys from ultra-Orthodox families in Israel who are running away from homes where they feel like they cannot fit in and they cannot cope. Migdal Ohr reaches out to these kids and offers them a place where they can continue their education, learn vocational skills, and raise their self-esteem. Therapists are also on hand to foster a healthier relationship between the kids and their parents. The campus, which currently houses 100 students, is unique in that it comprises a horse ranch, a winery, an olive press, a goat farm, a greenhouse, and a carpentry workshop. If you're planning on a trip to Israel, I highly encourage you to visit Zoharim, which is only 45 minutes from Jerusalem. It was so nice to visit these places with my children, who were also lucky to see Rabbi Grossman at the Kotel. I look forward to bringing them back to Migdal Ohr when they're older, so they can fully appreciate what an amazing place this is. Thank you so much to Rabbi Grossman and all the staff at Migdal Ohr for all of your hard work on behalf of these children who might not otherwise have the opportunities to live productive lives and have successful careers.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Eisenberg, Vice President, American Friends of Migdal Ohr. It's been my zechus for the last 27 years to be part of this organization. I will be brief tonight, not for your benefit, but for mine, because I left my cell phone with my 11-year-old mischievous son. I don't want him causing too much trouble. I would like to acknowledge the presence, once again, of my mom, who comes every year. She can continue to keep coming back in good health. I'd also like to recognize the Mora Dasra of our shul, Young Israel and Cedars, Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum, and the assistant rabbi, Rabbi Yaakov Trump. These are two rabbis who understand the importance and the impact of Migdal Ohr that it has in the entire country. Tonight, as the Rav said, marks the 30th night of the Sfiras Omer. As we count down to Kabbalas Torah, this period overlaps with the historical time of mourning. This is the time Rabbi Akiva lost 24,000 students of his. Rabbi Akiva also lived during the time of the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. It's brought down in the Gemara Makos that Rabbi Akiva and the sages were walking past the ruins of Beis Hamikdash. And at that point, a fox had walked out of the Holy of Holies, and all the sages began to cry. Rabbi Akiva, on the other hand, started to laugh. So the sages turned to him and said, "Why are you laughing? We are standing here at the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. How could you act this way?" Rabbi Akiva said, "I'm laughing because if the prophecy of destruction has come true, literally, then the prophecy of redemption will also come true, quite literally." Rabbi Akiva's ability to find the glimmer of light in the deepest darkness, to find the positive, the spark of hope in the worst of circumstances, is what Migdal Ohr is all about. From the moment an emotionally troubled and destroyed child enters the campus of Migdal Ohr, the glimmer of light hits their face. The child learns to smile and laugh again because they realize there is hope. Each year, the children's future becomes brighter and brighter, producing mentally healthy, well-educated, productive citizens of our holy country. Tonight we honor Anne and Chaim Bernstein with the Tower of Light Award. This is a very special couple that shine light wherever they go, upon everyone they meet. Chaim was emphatic in asking me to please be brief on his behalf, but I must say something. Chaim and Anne are long-term supporters of Migdal Ohr. It was over 35 years ago that Chaim heard Rabbi Grossman speak at a parlor meeting, and they've been long-term supporters ever since. Chaim is the physician-in-chief and chief of pulmonary at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Brooklyn. Anne worked for over 30 years as a physical therapist, but now is retired and dedicates most of her time to her children and grandchildren. Anne and Chaim have 4 married children, and each have gotten involved in their own right in helping the children of Migdal Ohr. I will just conclude by stating that the Bernsteins are an amazing couple, and we are very proud to call upon them to receive the Tower of Light Award. Please, Anne and Chaim.
The story you will hear at the end of this speech is all true. You will think it's exaggerated. It's not exaggerated at all. If you go to West Point tomorrow, a short drive from here, you will see an exhibit about what I'm about to tell you. That should be an incentive to stay awake for the rest of the speech. Now tonight, you heard a lot about Migdal Ohr, but is hearing enough? Apparently not. 3,000 years ago, when the Queen of Sheba met David HaMelech, when the Queen of Sheba met Shlomo HaMelech, it says in Melachim, in Navi, regarding the meeting of the Queen of Sheba with King Solomon, with Shlomo HaMelech, it was a true report that I heard in my country of your deeds and of your wisdom. However, I did not believe the words until I came and saw with my own eyes. And I have beheld that not even a half had been told to me. You have wisdom and goodness in excess of that which I have heard. You heard a lot tonight, but if you go to Israel and visit Migdal Ohr, you will see that you have not heard even a half of it. The love, the emotional nourishment that Rabbi Grossman and the wonderful staff provides to all these children is just amazing. Our taxi driver told us after we paid him that he should have paid us for this life-changing experience. Is seeing enough? Apparently not, because David HaMelech said 3,000 years ago, as we say in Hallel, Einayim lahem v'lo yaru. They have eyes, but they do not see. Maybe King David was referring to October 6th, 1973, at 8 o'clock in the morning. That was the day that the third temple was almost destroyed. Now, if you are less than 50 years old, you probably don't remember, but this was almost the start of the Yom Kippur War. On that day, and this is no exaggeration, there were about 100,000 Egyptian troops across the Suez Canal, about to cross to fight much fewer Israeli troops. Annie and I, when we were recently at the AIPAC convention, met a Major General. The name of him is Major General Reshef, Major General Amnon Reshef, Major General Amnon Reshef. He told us in the first 24 hours of the war, 90,000 Egyptian troops crossed the Suez Canal, facing 500 Israeli troops, 200 to 1. Similarly, in the north, the Syrian troops way outnumbered the Israeli troops by 10 or 20 to 1. And in fact, believe it or not, their tanks, which also outnumbered the Israeli tanks by 10 or 20 to 1, were superior to ours. The war started at 2 p.m., October 6th, 1973, which was a Shabbos. It was also Yom Kippur. Why were the Israeli troops on Mount Hermon, the highest point in Israel, the summit of Har Hermon, where there was a radar station that was called the Eyes of Israel, because they were able to see to Damascus with top secret radar? What were the Israeli troops doing 2 p.m. Shabbos, October 6, 1973 on Yom Kippur? The same thing you'll be doing this coming Yom Kippur. It's around the time you're saying on the Sanat Tokaf and Musaf about who will live and who will die. That's what this is decided on Yom Kippur. Who will die by water from the Suez Canal? Who will die by fire in the bunkers of the Israeli troops on Yom Kippur? The Syrian troops overran the Golan Heights, including the top secret radar station on the summit of Mount Hermon. With God's help, with help from heaven, Israel was able to recapture all of the Golan Heights, except for that radar station. That radar station was called the Eyes of Israel. Several attempts were made and failed, and many Israeli troops were killed. In the middle of Sukkot, October 22nd, 1973, Israeli officers, the Defense Department, asked Rabbi Grossman to come and to speak and inspire the troops before this final assault. When Rabbi Grossman arrived, there was a comedian on stage, and the comedian saw Rabbi Grossman in the audience, and he said, "Rabbi Grossman, honored rabbi, I cannot tell my kind of jokes with Rabbi Grossman in the audience. Please, Rabbi, sit to the side, and here's the Tehillim for you to say." And Rabbi Grossman said, "Come, let us go up on the stage together." And here's what Rabbi Grossman said. It says in Shoftim, in Devarim, "Ki ktseitze lemachama al yavecha," when you go out to battle against your enemy, and you shall see horse and chariot, for isa sus v'rechav, you will see horse and chariot, and tanks. Am rav memcha, a people much more numerous than you. Lo sira mehem, don't be afraid. Ki Hashem elokecha imcha, because God will carry you forward to your success. And as you get close to battle, it says in Devarim, the Torah continues, the Kohen comes up and he says, Shema Yisrael. This is the prayer that has sustained the Jews through all the generations. This is the prayer that 30 years ago, your fathers and your mothers said when they were murdered by the brutal, sadistic Nazis, Al Kiddush Hashem, Shema Yisrael. But those nights were different. Those days are over. Now we have an army. Now we have defense forces. Now we have a country. Now we are not homeless. And now, with God's help, we were able to fight and recover the Mount Hermon, the last part of the country that was seized by the Syrians. Then Rabbi Grossman told the group, "What do you want to do now? This is going to be a tough battle. Do you want to listen to jokes? We may all die the next hour or two. Some of you may die the next hour or two. Do you want to spend that time listening to jokes? Or do you want to say Shema Yisrael?" And a great roar went up from the army camp, and they all said with great fervor and great emotion, Shema Yisrael. And the rabbi continued. It says, "Do not be afraid. Ki Hashem lekechem halechem lechem 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 im lechem l'shiaschem." Because God will walk alongside of you to save you. I will walk alongside of you to save you. I will be with you. And this time, the Israeli offense to recapture the Har Kamon was successful. At the beginning of the war, there was a tank commander whose name is Amnon Sharon, and he was captured by the Syrians at the very beginning of the war. He spent almost a year in Syrian jails, some of it in solitary confinement, and he was tortured. This is not propaganda. The Israeli POWs, prisoners of war, were tortured by the Syrians. When he was finally released, about a year later, to his loving wife and 3 children in Tel Aviv, he wrote a book, which I read. And they asked him, "What sustained you during this long year of torture, of solitary confinement?" And he said, one song. The song relates to a man who's having a dream. And in the dream, he's walking on the beach. And while he's walking on the beach, he's looking to the sky. And he sees scenes of his life in the sky. And when the scenes are happy, when there's machot, when there are bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and weddings and brisses, there are 2 pairs of footprints in the sand. God is walking with him. But during tumultuous times, during miserable hours, there was only one set of footprints in the sand. And the man said to God, "God, you promised me that if I obey the commandments, if I'm a good Jew, if I'm an ethical person, if I'm good to my fellow man, you will never abandon me. How could you abandon me during my most miserable times?" And God whispered back, "I did not abandon you. I will never let you go. I carried you in my arms during those tumultuous times. The one set of footprints you see in the sand are mine, because I carried you." Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to Israel, get involved with Migdal Ohr, get involved with Rabbi Grossman and the wonderful staff that he has. And when you go visit the children, you'll be astounded how they stand up and welcome you with such warmth. You'll feel like $1 million. And then, during happy times, you'll feel that Migdal Ohr, the children, Rabbi Grossman, and the great leadership is walking alongside of you. But during times of trouble, during tumultuous times, which unfortunately all of us experience, you feel that God and Rabbi Grossman are carrying you in their arms. I want to close by saying that my beautiful wife, Emily, is always with me on the beach and outside of the beach with 2 sets of footprints, always alongside of me during good times. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bernstein. We're almost done, y'all, so a few more minutes of your time. Thank you. You've heard a lot about what Migdal Ohr does for children, but you've also heard a little bit about what the organization does throughout the lives of so many people supporting them. And here to talk more about that is Fabia Preminger, a member of the Board of Directors.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. Kacha. Okay. Looking in the crowd is like amazing to see the positive energy and everyone just thinking how Rabbi Grossman is so special, everyone who works with is so special, and this is a very unique organization. As we say that we are talking about the children, we saw before the video about the children, the same children that they don't have the parents for whichever reason that is, when they grow up, when they walk down the chuppah, they still don't have their parents to walk them down the chuppah. I met with Rabbi Nussbaum, who is right here, who is Rabbi Grossman's sister, and we ask you please to come up. תעלי בבקשה. We met, תבואי. And with Rabbi Grossman's wife, Rabbi Esther, and we are talking about what happened to the children when they grew up. And you're seeing the need of helping out the girls and the grooms and brides of Migdal Ohr as they grew up. So about 10 years ago, we established the Migdal Ohr Bridal Fund. So many children, they don't have their own fathers and mothers to walk them down. So the Rebbetzin is there. Rabbi Grossman himself walks down the boys, the grooms, and he's the Mesader Kedushin for the wedding. We not just help out with the wedding, the simple wedding itself, but even more so with their homes, the first home. So the Rebbetzin make sure that they have the right clothing, they have everything they need inside their own home to feel that they are starting like everyone else can start. And why not Migdal Ohr girl feel like a queen, as every bride should, when she is just embarking this new stage in her life. I'm very grateful to be calling Meg and Shalom that they are accepting the first Bridal Fund Award, Beit Ne'eman B'Israel, literally award. Meg and Shalom, whom I know for many years, are very close to my heart. They've been supporting Migdal Ohr. They themselves, they are newlywed. They just got married under 2 years ago, and they have a beautiful 1-year-old son, Ari, that they just celebrated his birthday. And even though they're so busy with their own lives and business and traveling and fun, they make the time and the point to help Migdal Ohr along with their families. And we're very grateful that they also spread the word, tell their friends about that, and they bring lots of enthusiasm and passion, and wholeheartedly, in a very unassuming way, they help us out. So just to conclude, over the past decade, we helped over 1,300 couples. We started with 18 couples in the first year, and last year alone we had 301 couples. So the more funds we have, the more couples we can help. So that's up to everyone. Thank you. Megan Shalom, please come up.
Well, I didn't really prepare much, but I wanted to thank Fabia Preminger, who's been an inspiration to us, has helped us through good times, not so good times, learning about this amazing organization, Migdal Ohr. It's amazing how many lives they touch. And the Bridal Fund, we learned a lot about in the time leading up to when we were getting married. And so being able to contribute and bring some of our friends to contribute has been an honor, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jordana Grunfeld, an American Friends of Migdal Ohr board member and one of its resident party planners. I had not had the pleasure of meeting Tzvi Solomon until tonight, but now it is my privilege to present him with the Lev Tov Young Leadership Award. As a somewhat young person myself, I've been blown away by Tzvi's commitment to philanthropy in general and his commitment to Migdal Ohr specifically. He interned for the American Friends of Migdal Ohr not once, not twice, but 3 times between his junior and senior years of high school. He subsequently hosted a Shabbaton on the Migdal Ohr campus when he was studying in Israel for the year. Drawn in, as he explains, by the organization's embodiment of his philanthropic values, which center on education for children and Israel, Tzvi has demonstrated wisdom and maturity beyond his years, with a conscientious approach to giving and an exceedingly humble way of supporting a cause he holds very personally and very dearly. Tzvi, a YU graduate and current associate at Goldman Sachs' Asset Management Division, is joined tonight by his beautiful wife, Erica, who, by the way, looks fabulous for someone who just had a baby a month ago. Right? His very dedicated family and dozens of friends. They are here to honor him, and because they trusted that his invitation meant that they were going to be introduced to a very worthwhile organization. Tzvi is everything a young leader should be, an exceptional individual of character with a very bright future. For the contributions he has made to Migdal Ohr already, and for the projects I hope to get him involved in the future, but don't worry, no more gala dinners. It's my honor to present this Lev Tov Award to you, Tzvi. Will you and Erica please join me up here?
This is the time to give a special gift and thankful for the young leadership. They the future from Am Yisrael. And this is the time to call up everybody from you to do everything to give over this message for your children and grandchildren, to keep helping Am Yisrael. And this is the time that the Torah tells us, Boneinu Arevim, me palmest God before Kabbalas HaTorah, that we will give the Torah from generation to generation. Yashar Koach.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. And of course, welcome, and I think, of course, the presence of my wonderful wife, Erica, who I so much appreciate for allowing me to run with this. Of course, my parents, Yitzi and Yosefa, my Erica's parents, my in-laws, Marilyn, Laser, Daryl, and Beverly. Of course, our grandparents and siblings, friends who are here, and of course, everyone in the audience. So I was a sophomore in high school when it all started. That was my connection with Migdal Ohr. And it was quite an experience. I was in my house. I'll never forget it. My mom walks in, totally random. She says, Tzvi, I've got you an internship. Great. Where am I going? Migdal Ohr. No idea what it was. No idea. But I know as a sophomore, I had nothing but a resume, like nothing there. So I said, okay, Migdal Ohr, there it is. I did absolutely no research. Zero. Walked in the first day of my internship, not knowing a thing. Zero. And I walked into the organization. I'll never forget. I said hi to the staff, a couple friendly faces. And I saw this huge picture framed, this huge picture. And in there had many, many, many buildings. Many buildings. And I remember turning to one of the staff, and I said, so tell me, which building here? Which building is Migdal Ohr? And they smiled. They said, Tzvi, almost every building in that picture is Migdal Ohr. And it was at that point that I realized that I was going to be part of something very special. So how do I capture Migdal Ohr in about 30 seconds or less? I'll tell you a story about one of my visits there. And now, again, my relationship has been with Migdal Ohr now for about a little over a decade. And we were meeting with a rabbi there on campus. And he said, let me ask you a question. What would happen if we were to take a hairdryer from America and we were to plug in that hairdryer into an outlet in Israel? We all said, obviously, would not work, right? And he said, well, what would happen if I took an adapter All I did was took an adapter, took that same hairdryer, the same outlet, put them together. We said it would work. And he said the same is with the children of Migdal Ohr. And that's the message I want to leave with you. All we need is that adapter. It's the adapter of treating every child with love, with sensitivity, care, through programs that include farming, right? Therapy with animals, anything that will get a kid to make him feel loved. And I think it's so poignant that this dinner, and just last week we read in Parshat Kedoshim, right? You shall love your neighbor as yourself. So I ask you tonight, don't support Migdal Ohr for the Rav. Don't just support Migdal Ohr for the children. Support it for us, because we're a klal. We're Am Yisrael. We're one family. Do it because it's just as much as your responsibility as mine, as is all of ours, to make sure that we have a strong future for us and for our great people. My bracha to everybody is that we should continue to support this wonderful organization, and we shall all be guided by the Ribono Shel Olam for all that we do. Have a wonderful evening.
One last quick round of applause. Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am more or less the only thing standing in the way of you and your dessert this evening. And the good news is this last tiny segment should only take 2 or 3 hours. So just hang in there with me. No, I'm actually just here to just gently remind you that tonight is also a fundraiser. The text number is on the screen, 646-647-3340 to support. There are 2 very important points I want to make before I announce how much has been raised. Number 1, it is possible to be anonymous this evening. So if you do want to give your gift anonymously, which many of you do, that is absolutely fine. Just text anonymous or don't include your name. And that also every and any amount is important to us. So absolutely anything. That could be $18. It could be anything. So every dollar counts, and you can remain anonymous. So like I said, I am the last thing standing between you and your dessert. If you have made a pledge this evening, thank you so very much for your generous donation, but your job is not done. If you've made a pledge, I'm going to need you to teach the person to your left or to your right or over dessert how to do that pledge. And the young lady here, I will teach you personally over a carrot cake or whatever they're serving in dessert. And that goes for anyone else out there who is struggling with the whole text message process. I'm out there to help, and so are the rest of the Text to Pledge team. I am thrilled to say that you are already over $220,000. So give yourself a round of applause, which is obviously an incredible amount of money. But $250,000 or $300,000 does sound a lot nicer. So we do have the remainder of the evening to give. Again, that number is 646-647-3340. You can remain anonymous. Enjoy your dessert, your well-earned dessert, and come and find me if you need any help. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. That is not quite the end, sir.
1 second, we got to thank a few people, and I have one important thing to tell you. I'm sorry to make you sit back down. First, if you haven't given tonight, please put this in your purse or pocket. This little card, put it in your purse or pocket, because this number is good for the year, okay? You can text all year long. And we just want to thank a few people. Tony Frommer, President. Sharon Haberman, Chairperson of the Board. Nathan Paul, Vice President. Jordana Gronfeld, Vice President. Michael Cronenberg, Treasurer. Bryna Landis, Secretary, and the Board of Directors at the American Friends of Migdal Ohr. The staff, a few more names: Norman Gilden, Executive Vice President; Beth Nussbaum, National Director of Development Communications; Dory Gelb, Development and Communications Manager; Aline Zorn, Administrative Assistant; Penny Landisi, Bookkeeper; Arden, the fantastic intern; and of course, Rebbetzin Nussbaum, the sister of Rabbi Grossman. Thank you very much. Have a great evening and enjoy your dessert.